In example 5, we have another one of these famous table problems here. We've got tons of information in this table. We have values for x, f of x, f prime of x, g of x, and g prime of x. And they've asked me to find the equation of the tangent line. And tangent to what? Well, the function they gave me was h of x equals 3 times f of x times g of x, where f of x and g of x are some abstract functions. We don't know what they are, but we have all this information in the table to help us. They want me to find the equation of the line tangent to this function at the x value of -1. So how do we do that? Well, you may remember that we used the point slope formula for that, and we had a special formula that we used making use of our differential calculus. And so y is equal to f prime of a. That is the value that we'll be finding the tangent line. This would be the slope of the tangent line at point A, times x minus a plus f of a. So f of a is the y-intercept, f prime of a is the slope, and a is the x value that we're finding the slope of the line that is tangent at that point. So let's find out what h prime of x is. So h prime of x is going to be 3 times f of x times g prime of x, so I'm using my product rule here, plus 3 times f prime of x times g of x. And that means that h prime of -1 is going to be 3 times f of -1 times g prime of -1 plus 3 times f prime of -1 times g of -1. So we'll just substitute in. We have 3 times f of -1. f of -1 is -2 from the table, times g prime of -1. So g prime of -1 is +2, plus 3 times f prime of -1. So here's f prime, -1, -4. And finally times g of -1. g of -1 is -3. All right, so 2 times -2 is -4. -4 times 3 is -12, plus 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 9 is 36. Negative times negative is a positive, so plus 36. And this leaves us with a positive 24. That is my slope. That's f prime of a. Now, let's see what we've got here for our function. So let me do that in a different color. So that's going to be y equals f prime of a, 24, times x minus a. A was -1. Plus f of a. What was f of -1? f of -1 was -2. All right, so our final function in simplified form is 24 times x plus 1 minus 2, and that's it. All right, so thank you so much for your attention and working through these examples with me. And I've got a Google form with an exit ticket that I would like you to try and submit, and then we will do our homework in class next time. So we will see you in class. Thank you again.